G'day guys, I'm D-Mac from NBA Fantasy Bible, and along with me is Matty G, and we are part of the Believe in Fantasy Network. Matty G, how you going, mate?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Saturday night, our friends and family draft tomorrow. I should be in bed, but I'm just doing the work.
Exactly. We've got 3 days until opening night, so what better time for us to hop into another public mock draft? So a lot of drafts have already happened, but we thought there's heaps happening probably in the next couple of days, maybe some on Monday and Tuesday, but heaps happening in the next couple of days. So getting some reps in, getting you guys prepared for the next couple of days of drafting. We're going into a 9-cat 12-team mock draft as well. Matty G, you're picking from pick 12. I'm picking at pick 2. We will get into the draft room very, very shortly. I think less than about a minute away, less than 2 minutes away. But have you seen any trends over the last few mock drafts that you've done and real drafts as well?
Yeah, man, big things from the preseason hype really is the big thing, and the takeaways. Like today, BJ Edgecombe and Reed Shepherd's blowing up the other day, and we were even in a live draft on Friday when that was happening, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, BJ Edgecombe." By the way, at the Dynasty, welcome to fantasy basketball. What a great comment to get. 9-cat leagues to join. Dude, jump into the DMs of our Twitters, I guess the best way to say it, and we'll see if we can hook him up, this guy, like get him into a league somewhere.
Absolutely. That's what we're about here. We have to help all. And a lot of new people actually were coming through. Quick comment here. Thoughts on Embiid today? He started, well, this was yesterday for us, but looked pretty good, played limited minutes. Do we have any confidence moving forward? Or is this something that we should still be mindful of?
I guess this could be, look, we should always be mindful of it because it's Joel Embiid and an injury. But what we should be grateful for is if we drafted him in the 80s, in our early draft day, because if you're drafting tomorrow or the next day after today, it's tantalizing to get a top 12 guy that late in draft. So I might look to even target him here tonight if I see him in a position where I feel he might be somewhat viable.
Yeah, I've had a few questions on Twitter just asking, what's too early? Would you consider him at pick 50? Would you consider him at 50, or is this something 100%. Dependent on your league settings?
Yeah, look, league settings wise, if he's around at 50 and you have 1 or 2 IR, like 2 or 3 IR spots, I have no problem with it. Like the guy is a monster. Like, he looked clean today. He looked good today.
Yeah.
Look, you're getting a guy who can potentially return you. Like, you can't just get guys who are first-round guys that late in your drafts. He is today. He's just shot up boards left, right, and center. He's like, I'm very surprised. Like, we weren't expecting him to be ready for opening night, were we, D-Mac?
No, we weren't, and a lot of us were drafting Adam Bona, our favorite guy, the big boy. But he did actually start alongside of Embiid today, which was interesting to say the least. Paul George still hasn't been cited, so we don't know how that's all going to play out. But by all accounts, Nick Nurse wants to have Edgecombe as a starter, which is great. I'm just going to change the settings here. We're going to go into presentation mode as well, just to make it look a little bit prettier and easier to follow for you guys. Whilst we're on the live stream as well, send us through any of your questions. We will get to them and try to focus on drafting at the same time as well. But you and I have both been in a couple of slow drafts at the moment, and they're picking up pace now. They have been going very slowly, though.
In the background of this draft right now, I'm keeping one eye on our Fantrax industry pickup league. I know that Dan Bezbris is on the clock and the timer has been stopped there, but I also know who Dan's picking next, because he said, look, I'm getting this guy, because if he didn't, I was going to go to bet on my next guy. And then it's like Bill and then Raf have got auto draft on. So yeah, it's been one. We're in the 8th round. We actually got through like 2 rounds today, which just is a breakneck pace for this draft. But Joel Embiid, where did Joel Embiid go in that one? He went, before this game the other day, he went in...
Ooh, that's a great question, actually. Where did he go?
Oh, has he gone yet? He's gone. We're in the 80s. He's surely gone by now. I think he went early. Someone took him early.
He's gone.
I just can't see where. I know he's gone. And again, if he was still in the industry league in the 80s or 90s, there is something absolutely in the water there, by the way. Who are you picking? Who are you taking at number 2, by the way? Like, who are you? If Jokic,
look, I'm thinking that Wemby's going to come to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got less than a minute, and I'm just trying to work out how I just show my presentation mode without seeing my queue as well. Because Matty G, I know that you like to snipe me as well, but
I'm not going
I'm
to
thinking
snipe you.
Wemby's
Oh
going to
yeah, that
fall
was
to
Tyler
two.
Hero today. That was Tyler Hero today, and you know that I was high on Tyler Hero. And if I could
Yeah,
get him where I haven't got him before,
yeah, big time, big time. I definitely wanted
I'm
him.
completely fine. And again, I know that you
And
must
Josh
have been
Boyd, I
upset
think, sniped me a couple of times as well.
because Josh is straight after you,
Yeah,
and like so you get
Josh
your
was straight.
chance, and then
Yeah,
yeah, you get your chance, and if you mess that up, you've got Josh Lloyd picking twice after you, and B-Dub from FBI Basketball International picking behind him. So you've got like 4 players that can go, and it's almost happening every single time that these guys, like the Q and 7 was killing me. Aiton, Mark Williams, Jared Allen, and Hartenstein all out in a row. It was a slow death for me that round.
yeah, it was. Too many Wemby builds. Of course, Jokic went number 1.
There you go.
This will be unique for me as well. SGA at 3. We're expecting Luka at 4. Is that pretty
Yep.
standard, or Giannis has been moving up? There's Luka at 4.
Yeah, Luca at 4. This is all going very, very pedestrian. Nothing going out of the way. I'm curious to see this. Okay, so Cade is gone. Anthony Davis slides down draft slot. There we go. This is the beginning of the slide. If he's there, do I take him is the question. Anthony Davis.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are high on him. I'm still quite I'm cautious just because he hasn't shown that history of staying on the court for an extended period of time, 60, 65 plus games per season, something that we don't really see from Anthony Davis anymore. But he's still that per minute monster. Oh, sorry, per minute monster as well. So interesting to see how that all plays out here.
Ooh, 8th, Harden. There you go, AD. This is probably going to do it for me here. Booker went at 10. No. What am I doing? Oh, gosh.
Yeah, you're on the clock, mate.
I'm going to take Steph. I'm going to take Steph, and I'm going to take Maxey back to back. Because I've even been saying Bojan, like one of our good followers and our good friends in the Believe in Fantasy Discord. I'm like, just take whatever 2 guards. He's like, I think he had like pick 13 and a 16 teamer. So I was just like, he's like Kevin Durant. Like, I'm like, yeah, sure, take Kevin Durant. He's like, who else are these guys? I'm like, just take the 2 dudes. Like, take Harden or Curry or Booker or Maxey or Curry or Donovan Mitchell, whoever falls to you there. Take those guys. Like, pair them together. I'm sure you'll be able to get two of that core group. You'll be able to get around this point.
And you know me, I love my point guards, and maybe I've sort of convinced you as well. I just love going 1-2 with point guards, particularly at the end of the first round. So Steph, Tyrese Maxey, I like Tyrese Maxey. I also like KD. Karl Anthony Towns has definitely dropped. He was definitely a first rounder come the start of, or let's say, preparation for this time. But now he's going into the second round quite consistently. Do you think that's valid, knowing that the Knicks' minutes are likely to come down?
I think it's valid. I think it's fair. I think in different formats, I think he has value there. People are worried that Mitch Robinson, his blocks will be down. His blocks obviously bump him up. But there we go. Armen Thompson. Bojan asked me about Armen Thompson. Is he a second round guy? And I'm like, yeah, he is. You can get Armen Thompson in that guard mix. And so he goes out there to that Ali Arda guy with James Harden. Another great point guard mix. So you can have a look there. There's 3 of us that have put together that point guard double play. I've got Curry and Maxey. There's Booker and Mitchell. There's Harden and Thompson. My preferred would have been Booker and Mitchell or Booker and Maxey. I would have loved that. Didn't happen for me. I deal with the cards that I'm dealt, and we move back on. And Alpi Şengün going solidly in the second round is probably one of the biggest trends that I've seen.
Yeah, it's something I've seen recently as well, and I've probably been guilty of this, is LaMelo Ball. He's now being pushed up into the second round pretty consistently. I am apparently on the clock, and that hasn't refreshed. There we go. So that is who, speaking of, do I go him? I'm going to be a bit controversial, or do I go someone like...
Are you doing it? Are you doing it? I'll give you 20 seconds. You go, LaMelo. Okay, LaMelo. Okay, good.
I'm going LaMelo.
I thought, now this is it. I'm going to target Embiid here at pick 36. I'm calling it right now at the end of the third 36.
Round. Aggressive. Quick question. I'm back on the clock, so that's great. Not a great opportunity
look,
for me to think.
Roy 12, just backing up his OKC players. Love that bit of a stack right there, by the way. Shout out to you, mate. Jokic, if he'd only just taken Shea with the first pick, he could have just basically had the big 3 bananas at OKC right off the rip. Good on him.
I've locked in Scotty. He looked a lot more impressive last night. He had a pretty disappointing preseason, but yeah, last night he looked terrific. So I still think he can be a top 30 guy. A quick question from Marty. I have pick 9. It's on ESPN. Any suggestions for a first pick? Now, I think he's actually said in the chat that it's a roto league. So 9, I'm still liking Trey and Booker around that zone. If James Harden is there as well, that's who I would be targeting. What about you, Matty G?
Look, I'm there. I'm there on all those guys. Like again, Cade Cunningham, I've seen fall. I'm just not taking Anthony Edwards there unless it's a points league, and then he gets a significant bump for me under those. So, Dyson Daniels off the board. Okay, this is a pretty competitive, like just random.
Well, yeah, you've gone with that build. You've gone Giannis, Evan Mobley, Dyson Daniels. So. Yeah, and you do see that as we approach, we're only 3 days away. As you approach it, there's people taking it a lot more seriously than what we saw several weeks ago as well. So this is great to see.
Yeah,
going back to the question, you think pick 9?
Yeah, fine. Pick Any 9, of these guys is fine. All of those guys is fine. Look, if you even look back at our first round here, and you go all the way back up to that, from around that pick, you've got Harden, Booker, Davis, Young, and Curry. Like none of those are mistakes. I would be targeting one of those guys with Tyrese Maxey as a loose one in there. Jamal Murray, you son of a gun.
Yeah.
You just distracted me, so I don't.
Yeah, big time. I think I've taken Jamal Murray in 80% of the drafts that I've done so far.
You have, and that's again
off the board.
Oh no, this is actually killing me.
So Embiid went at 33, so that's a lot sooner than we have seen. But I guess with him playing last night, people are a little bit more bullish on him for the rest of the season. But yeah, 33 for me is still too early. You would be a little bit more aggressive on that, Matty.
I was thinking him at 36. Well, I did take him at 36 or 37 because I'm not going to get him another 24 picks later now. But that means, Ian, that I could probably get a little bit.
You won't get him, but do you have to get him? That's the thing. I am happy to avoid. I don't want that headache moving forward.
36. Okay, I'm taking. I've been seemingly missing out on Kawhi a lot lately. So I'm a little bit. I'm okay with that, and I'm probably just going to back up my. I'm going to get two of my faves here. I'm going to get Butler. I'm going to get my other small forward, power forward here, and I'm just going to back up a lot of those playmakers, good defensive stats to back up my guys who can get the points. Jimmy Butler and that here. Look, I think it's probably early for Butler and probably early for these guys, but again, these are guys I like, and I'm not getting them in another 22 picks time, if that makes sense. So for me, that's really deep. And for me, it's very deep into the mix, like really far down the line. So I'm not going to be doing it in a way that's really just risking too much for myself, because I shouldn't do that. So what I'm doing instead is I'm insulating my small forward, power forward combination really early on, and then moving along quite easily after that.
Here's a good question. How do you handle double doubles instead of turnovers? That's quite a unique situation there with categories. I don't see that very often, but do you handle it any differently?
I'm in 3 double leagues this year in the ball league page here in Australia. I am all in on Mobley. I actually took Mobley in my first round for that, to be honest. So look, I think they're both good. I wanted to get Jalen Johnson in another one of those leagues, so I'm all for it. I think it's just good picking to take either one of them. I do think Evan Mobley has the clearer path to the easy rebounds double-double.
Yeah. Do you treat drafting differently now that you've got double doubles instead of turnovers? Do you particularly look at a certain type of player?
Well, that basically takes out that -1 ranking a lot, especially if turnovers are out of the mix. Like, imagine Trae Young's value in that system, just low key. Like it completely changes their value. It's almost like their -1 ranking, because I punt turnovers not aggressively, but I just like put them on the back burner a little bit. If you know what I mean, like it's like
I'm very aggressive with punting turnovers.
Yeah, exactly. You are as well. So for me, it's like that -1 value was out, and then goes from there.
Yeah, nice one. We got a question from Jeffrey. We're stuck on Mobley. Jalen Johnson today at pick 21 at SGA first round. Thoughts?
Yeah, look, I'm fine with that. Look, I think it's I think it's good. I think it's a solid pick. And look, for me, I'm always torn with these things. Like, I have no real. I think SGA might not get as many double doubles, but I think it's a good pairing with Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, I am. Look, I'm considering LeBron here or Fox,
I think it's fair.
but I might go someone that you're a big fan of at the moment.
And with that one, it's my time to go as well. So I had to make a glorified cameo. So my man, I will love you and leave you, and I will be drafting into the background, and I'll be
No worries,
speaking to you
mate.
tomorrow for our one, mate.
All right. All the best, mate. I appreciate that. But we'll carry on. Thank you, Matty G. Come back on if you can. Dad duties away.
will.
Thanks, mate. In the meantime, guys, keep the questions coming, and I'll try to focus on my drafting whilst I'm also trying to answer your questions as well. So, Matty G, he will still continue drafting. I took Kristaps Porzingis there in the 5th round as well. So I haven't grabbed him in any other leagues except for today. But at pick 50, I think there's some value there. I think he's a top 25, top 30 type of guy per game. But of course, that comes with risk of him sitting. It is contract year as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean he plays harder or he plays more games or he doesn't get injured. It just means maybe for me, there could be some more incentive to try to stay on the court a little bit longer as well. Again, we don't think that contract year is really a factor, but some people may think that as well. LeBron James, interestingly, was taken at pick 54. For me, I'm okay. Something around that pick 50 onwards. LeBron James, for me, at that point is okay because, to be honest, he's 40 years old. I don't know how long he's going to be out. Thoughts are it could be just perhaps a month, could be less, could be more. We don't really know a firm timeline at this stage, but I'm hoping that it'll be a little bit on the earlier side of that time frame as well. So getting him a top 20 guy, or top 24, 25 type of guy, getting him at pick 54, I think that's good value. But yeah, that comes with a little bit of risk there. I'll just quickly go through. So Matty G is still drafting. He's gone Darius Garland, and I've been big on Darius Garland. I think he only misses 1 or 2 weeks to start the season. I think he, again, with the statistical scarcity, positional scarcity, I think he's a great pick around that point. You could probably wait a little bit as well. I've seen him drop to, there was a draft I saw, a real league to pick 75. So perhaps at pick, he got taken at pick 60. You could have waited a little bit longer. But again, if you wanted a particular stat set like assists and good free throws, Darius Garland is a really good player. I think he's a top 40 type of player. Getting him at pick 60, I think, is great because he's not going to miss too much time to start the season. Just a few more interesting picks. I will get to your questions. We've got one from Nam. Is Jaren at 2nd round too early? Jaren Jackson Jr., we saw that he did play in preseason. It's awesome to see. 2nd round, I don't think it is too early. I think at back end of the 2nd round, 3rd round would be ideal. He was taken at the 3rd pick of the 3rd round in this one, but he may be going up draft boards now because we have seen him in preseason. I don't think it's too early, depending on when in that 2nd round he goes. Back end, I'm comfortable with. Now I need to start thinking about my picks here. At the top of my board, I've got Larry Markkinen. I'm not touching Larry Markkinen. I'm not touching Walker Kessler. I'm not touching any Nets whatsoever as well. I've got Julius Randle. I could go for an injured Tyler Hero, which would be roughly around it will be pick 70. I might target Tyler Hero here because he'll probably miss a month. But when he does come back, I could see him having top 25, top 30 type of category league value as well, which is important. We play for the playoffs. I'm going to take Hero right here. Another guy, I should probably look at my team. Who could I grab here? Let me know what you think of my team so far, guys. I could go upside. Is it too early for Zealous? Is it too early for Zealous? Look, he's in my queue. Mikal Bridges, I think that's too early for my liking. I'm taking Matas Bezelis. Aggressive, but I like what I've seen in the preseason. I don't know what you guys think, but I think taking Bezelis at pick 74 presents still some value there. Larry Markkinen was taken straight after that. We've got a few questions here from Jeffrey, any late round guards past 150 to target for assists? Prices this week, Davion Mitchell was a guy that I was hoping would step up in the absence of Tyler Hero, but we've actually seen Drew Smith start recently, and Drew Smith, they really, really like at the Miami Heat. He has had his fair share of injuries as well. I still want to, don't get Drew Smith, by the way, but I do want to just have a look at Davion Mitchell there. So I think he's all right there. Guys like Scottie Pippen Jr. as well, Ty Jerome, they're type of guys that you could get outside the top 150 as well. But yeah, guys, thanks for your questions. They're rolling in. So I'm also trying to keep an eye out for those as well. We'll quickly going through a few other picks here. So we straight after Buzelis, we had Larry Markkinen, Rudy Gobert. Then we had Donovan Kling, another one of my favorites at 77. I would like to get him around later, but at 77, I think he can get that in terms of overall value. Interesting to see that he did go ahead of Mark Williams, who was taken one pick later. Again, Mark Williams, top 40 per game in categories, but it's the health. It's is he going to sit back to backs? Do we have confidence in his body? I'm a little bit down on Mark Williams. We saw DeAndre Ayton get taken at the first pick of the 6th round, which is a lot earlier than Mark Williams. And I've seen sort of those two being sort of weighed up in a lot of questions and in drafts as well. Do we take Ayton? Do we take Mark Williams? I'm going to lean the safer guy, Ayton. But again, it does depend on how you've drafted earlier as well. If you've taken, a couple of injured guys, go the safe option with Ayton. If it's a pretty clean bill of health, and of course we can't predict injuries, but if it's a clean bill of health, relatively no risk in terms of going into the season injured, then I'm fine with taking a flyer on Mark Williams ahead of Ayton. But it is contextual, it is situational. Okay, straight after Mark Williams, Emmanuel quickly, I do like at this point. Cam Johnson is another favorite of mine. I might take a sip. Jordan Poole's going to be outstanding to start the season, even with sharing ball usage with Zion, with Trey Murphy. The issue later in the season, come playoffs, fantasy playoffs, it'll be DeJounte Murray coming back into that team, into the fold as well. So that's going to murky a few things up, but I still like Jordan Poole to get off to a flyer at the start of your season. Paul George at about this point was taken at 82nd. Look, I'd love a few more updates on his health. 82nd, I think it's relatively low risk for some nice upside. And again, similar to what I was saying with Mark Williams, I think you want to take some upside, but it does depend on how you've drafted earlier as well. So Paul George, that's probably as early as I would go on Paul George. It would be nice to wait, but it's okay. It's all right. I really love Shaden Sharp straight after him, Norman Powell, Alex Sarr. So yeah, going up boards, but Alex Sarr taken at pick 85. Tamani Kamara is another favorite of mine, taken straight after that. So I need to think about who I'm taking. I've got Jalen Green and Cam Thomas at the top of my draft board. I'm not taking them. At what pick are we? So 95th overall. I may need some big guys. No, you know what? Category specialist Tari Eason. He's one of my faves as well. Late. 95 is not considered too late, but I just think that he's got that category league upside. Back with me, I could go. I'd love to grab Keegan Murray, but because of the injury, I'm just going to avoid him for now. Look, who could we go? Bradley Beal. Again, do I trust him at this point? Keegan, CJ McCollum, Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah, look, I'm going to go Brad Beal. And yeah, please get into the comments. Roast me. I've gone a little bit risky with Brad Beal. I've got Kristaps Porzingis as well in my team, but I think elsewhere I'm relatively okay. Tyler Hero, of course, is already injured, but I'll slam him straight into my IR or IL. Bradley Beal, I think at 95 is okay. A few more. Oh, Jeffrey, thanks, mate. You're a legend as well. And thanks for the support. I know that you follow me on Twitter. Thanks for that. I am Timber for 9Cat head-to-head league. After what round do you look to start punting? Cheers, DMAC. Yeah, guys that follow me know that I like to be balanced in my first couple, and then probably around, you could generally see where you're going after the first 4 rounds, I think. And if you are light on with big men, it is hard to get those at the back end of your draft. I think there's a few question marks around the Boston center rotation, the Indiana center rotation as well. I love Isaiah Jackson, but he's going to miss back-to-backs. So if you want to punt at that stage, that's probably the point for round 4 onwards. But again, some people like to go into a draft and know the build that they're going into. I don't like doing that. Again, that's my approach. That's how I've found success in the past. But each their own. Again, let me know how you've had success in the past in the comments. And yeah, would love to compare as well. Ozan, is Tyler Hero a risk worth taking? Again, it's based on where you're picking him up. I picked him up at what pick? At the 11th pick of the 6th round, which I'm very happy with. I think that was pick 70. Yeah, pick 70 odd. Yeah, 71. I'm happy with that. I think any earlier is that's nice. I've seen him being taken around that 55 to 65 zone as well. 70, I think it's a no-brainer. But yeah, I think he's a risk worth taking because he's going to have huge usage on that Miami Heat team. But thank you for that, Ozan. Keep the questions coming, guys. A few other picks. Zach Edey. Zach Edey just went at pick 108. I love the upside there. It's the injury. I think he'll be out for possibly 4 weeks to start the season. But when he comes back, he'll integrate nicely. I don't think JJJ will play the 5. I think they like playing him at the 4. So Zach Edey will slot in nicely. He'll take Aussie Jock Landale's spot very easily. Slow ramp up, but then Zach Edey for the rest of the season. I love him. I think he can be a top 80 category league guy and probably even in points league situations as well. So Edey for me is a good pick at that point as well, even with the 4 weeks out. A few picks as well. After Edey was Bobby Portis, Cam Thomas, Jalen Suggs. It's probably the right zone for Jalen Suggs at that point. Again, I'm just a little bit wary of the injuries, but at that point, I think there's enough upside, even with the loaded, stacked Orlando Magic team. Andrew Wiggins straight after that. Cason Wallace, I've seen him go up draft boards recently. I'm not too sure. I think he's more of a steals specialist. I'm on the clock. Of course I am. Santi Aldama, again, with the JJJ news, so maybe not there. Keontae George. There is Davion Mitchell. You know what? I'm going to go someone who I quite like in Dante DiVincenzo. I think he'll take a lot of minutes away from Mike Conley, old man Mike Conley. Rob Dillingham is a good young player, but I just think that Dante DiVincenzo is really going to come to the fore this season. We'll maybe get New York Knicks style Dante DiVincenzo, which was a top 60, top 70 type of guy. Stephon Castle went straight after DiVincenzo. Now, I'm going to go for someone who I've had my eye on a fair bit recently. And again, please roast me in the comments. But a pick 122, I think at this point of the draft, pretty low risk. Keyshawn George, really love what he brings in terms of 9-cat. Just a really well-balanced, overall nice type of player. We know that Bilal Coulibaly is injured to start the season. It won't be out for too long, but I just think that Keyshawn George is someone that they should be playing a lot more of. Young guy, sophomore season. I really like him at that point. But again, at pick 122, low risk. Some more questions. Who are your favorite 4th round picks for 8-cat Roto League? 4th round. I might have to get back to you, Umat, on that one because we could probably look at who was taken in the 4th round here, and we'll look at ADP. I can bring up the ADP. Hold that thought, Umat. We'll come back to that shortly. Tamir, Diabate, Mitch Robinson, Nemesis Keita, Chris Boucher, Isaiah Jackson. Who has the highest floor? Highest floor is Ajax, but again, it's the risk of injuries. Coming back from injury, the Achilles tear from last season, slow ramp up, missed the back-to-backs. Ajax has the highest floor for me. Highest ceiling, I should say. The highest floor, different question. Highest floor is probably Nemesis Keita. Highest ceiling is Ajax. So yeah, thanks. I needed to clarify that. But I would prefer to take Ajax just because of the highest ceiling, particularly at this point of the draft as well. Ajax just went as well. So he went at pick 125. I do like Aaron Naismith, who was taken just earlier at 123. On that point, I'd probably need a few more big men. So I'm going to just queue up Nemesis Keita. Do we have Boucher still available? Chris Boucher, let's find him. Chris Boucher is still available. Luca Garza is another probably deeper round sort of guy as well. But Chris Boucher has looked good. I think he'll start at the power forward spot as opposed to the center. So alongside of Nemanja Keita. But again, that rotation is a little bit messy as well. So no, Nemanja Keita was just taken there at pick 132. So I like that pick. Grayson Allen, he'll be a starter to start the season. Jalen Green being out. So I really like that as a late round flyer. Nikola Jovic is supposedly will start ahead of Kelly Ware. Keontae George, by all accounts, I think he will start ahead of Isaiah Collier as the point guard for the Jazz. And I mentioned earlier about Larry Markkinen. I'm staying away from Larry Markkinen and Walker Kessler, but these sort of later round guys like Keontae George, Isaiah Collier, those types of Kyle Filipowski, those types of guys I'm more keen on just because I don't think they rest those guys as much as they'll rest Walker Kessler and Larry Markkinen as well. It's still going to be a tanking season, irrespective of what they've said in the media. It's a tanking season for that team. It's the right thing to do from a business sense and from a basketball sense. So that means they'll pour more minutes into Keontae George, Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, Taylor Hendricks, those types of guys as well. Actually, speaking of Taylor Hendricks, has he been taken as a late round guy? He hasn't. So I'll cue him up as well. There's a few pretty nice names still to be taken. Malik Monk, obviously been dropping because of the news of Russell Westbrook now being at the Sacramento Kings. Whether or not he stays or he's traded, at this point of the draft, it's hard to get guys that will just come off the bench and just score. He'll score a ton. He's relatively efficient. He'll get you some assists. So I might have to just queue up Malik Monk as well. So I'll put him to the top of my queue, just ahead of Chris Boucher. There we go. Malik Monk. Just some other ones. TJ McConnell is injured to start the season. I don't mind it if you can stash him. Obviously, no Tyrese Halliburton. Nempard will obviously start at point guard, but coming off the bench, TJ McConnell, we've seen it in the past when Tyrese Halliburton has been injured and Chris Boucher has just been taken. I will take Malik Monk here. Yeah, as I was saying, Nempard will start. TJ McConnell, I think, is solid if you can stash. And I have done that in one of my leagues. I picked him up, I think, off the waiver wire and stashed him straight into the IRs as well. So it is dependent on your actual league settings as well. Jeffrey, thank you very much for all your questions and comments. Bonus started at PF next to Embiid today. Yes. Do you think he's worth a stash or a handcuff? Yes, late. I do think he is. It has to be a lot later than what I thought, but because he did start at power forward, it does give him that extra flexibility. But just keep in mind that Paul George still needs to come back into that lineup as well. But it's still worth a flyer at this point of the draft. So yes, absolutely. And Embiid, is he going to play 50 games this season? So in those 32 other games, 30 plus games, Bona's going to start. He's going to start ahead of Andre Drummond, is my assumption. And he's going to be great, particularly when you need those, I was going to say elite, but higher level blocks as well. So I'm back on Taylor Hendricks is still there. I could go Hendricks. Do I go someone who's a little bit more proven, has had a pretty impressive preseason? It's boring, but it's Wendell Carter Jr. So again, roast me. But at this point of the draft, you don't always have to go for upside. But he's looked really good, and it hasn't been in the absence of all of their stars. He's just there seems to be a slight change in how they're playing, and it could be based on Desmond Bane being in that team as well. But Wendell Carter Jr. has looked very impressive. I'm not saying he's going to be a top 80 type of guy, but at pick, what did I pick him at? 150 odd. I don't mind that at all. Sorry, 146. I got him. DeAndre Hunter, I do like that pick as well. Daniel Gafford, I've picked up in a couple of leagues, again, as an IR stash. Speaking of stashes, DeJounte Murray, yep, I think that's a valid stash. Quentin Grimes, I'm not as high on just because Edgecombe will start. PG still needs to come back. Jared McCain still needs to come back into that team as well. So Quentin Grimes may have a nice start, but down the back end, not so much. That's it, guys. We really wrapped that up very quickly. Any other questions? I'm probably not going to go into too great a detail of my team. We'll have a quick quick squiz at my team. We'll have a point and laugh moment. But Wemby to start with, followed by LaMelo Ball, Scotty Barnes, Cooper Flagg. I really like how Cooper Flagg's playing at the moment. He's playing at point guard as well. So we'll see if that sticks. Kristaps Porzingis, Tyler Hero. So a bit of risk here with Porzingis and Hero back to back. We've got to be mindful of that one. Buzelis as well. I really like him as a breakout candidate. Tari Eason, Bradley Beal, Dante DiVincenzo, Keyshawn George, Malik Monk, and Wendell Carter Jr. 13 rounds, went very quickly. You don't see it on the screen, or you may not see it, but the last pick of that draft was Ty Jerome, straight after Scottie Pippen Jr. Nice, quick draft to finish off with. We'll have more of these as well. I'll do a couple on Fantrax. I'll do some more on Yahoo as well. Any other questions before I leave you? We got Jorge. Bro, didn't pick PJ Hall. I can't believe it. PJ Hall has actually had some minutes. He's not been too bad as well as a deeper league guy. So, yeah, it's something to consider in deeper leagues. Yeah, thanks, Nam. He queued Boucher, just letting you know. Yes, Boucher was taken right before my pick. And we had that one as well. Well, that's a wrap. Nice and quick draft for probably for some of you a Saturday morning. For me, it's a Saturday evening. We'll keep these running over the next couple of days as well, just getting you prepared for the fantasy season. Thank you to Believe in Fantasy. Make sure you subscribe to believeinfantasy.com for all updates from there. Join them in the Discord. There's a whole heap of experts as well, including myself in their Discord as well. So make sure you're across that. Thanks to Robin and the team. So make sure you become a Believe in Fantasy MVP community member. But until next time, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Catch ya.